Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back with a small review on the new Wet n Wild Megaglo highlighting powders that are sweeping pretty much the makeup world. These highlighters are limited edition and you can find them at your local Walgreens. However, I am going to be very honest, it is extremely hard to find these. It took me several weeks to try to find these at my local Walgreens, and honestly I found them without even looking for them. I had already lost hope in finding these and I was just not looking for them, and one day I walked into Walgreens and found not one but two of these highlighters. Let's go ahead and talk about pigmentation. Okay, so they do have some shimmer in them. They are very finely milled though. You really it doesn't leave like that shimmery kind of look. I am wearing these two together today, so if you can tell, they're pretty they're pretty intense as far as pigmentation, especially for the price. I paid $3.99 for each of these, like I said earlier. And the first one that I'll go ahead and swatch is Precious Petals, and it is the lighter one of the two. This one is more of a champagne-y gold. It reminds me of a lot of Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill, and also Opal. I can see a little bit of Opal in it, and I actually have a couple of other highlighters that I will be as well swatching as well to compare the Wet n Wild one, so you can kind of see the difference in shades. So we'll go ahead and swatch this first one. It has like a beautiful floral design, but I can't really tell what kind of flower it is. I'm gonna go ahead and guess and say it is Catalea. It looks kind of like if you've seen the movie Colombiana, that movie is all about that flower because that was her name in the movie. It is with Zoe Saldana. If you haven't seen it, it's a fantastic movie. Anywho, I'm rambling now. So that looks like a Catalea flower, but I'm not too sure. It was a floral themed kind of springy collection, so I wouldn't put it past that it is in fact some sort of flower. I'm taking a guess and saying it's Catalea. But anywho, here is the swatch, and this was just lightly swatched of the Wet n Wild Precious Petals. You see how beautiful that is? I mean, and it's so soft. There wasn't much, you know, look at that. You guys know how I feel about highlighters, so for me this was just like, I couldn't even believe it. I was ecstatic. I had no words when I saw it. I picked them up. So that is the Wet n Wild Precious Petals. Like I said, it is a champagne gold, the lighter one of the two. I'll go ahead and swatch. I also have, for comparison, I have the Becca Champagne Pop and the Becca in Opal, and then I bought one last one, Whisper of Guilt, which is a limited edition. Let's go ahead and swatch this. I'm gonna first swatch Champagne Pop right beside it. And as you can see, Champagne Pop is definitely more pigmented and it's more on a golden hue. It has more of a golden hue. The next one I will swatch will be Opal by Becca, right beside Champagne Pop. And this one is just a tad bit lighter, so that seems to be a closer dupe to the Wet n Wild one, but it has more pink, particles in it, definitely, so you can kind of tell the difference in those. And then last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Whisper of Guilt by MAC right beside that one, and this one, as you can see, is definitely more like the Champagne Pop by Becca, where it has more of that golden hue. So it's definitely unique in its own special way, and again, if you can get your hands on this, that would be awesome. Now I want to go ahead and talk about Crown of My Canopy, which is number 34739. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned the number, but this one's Precious Petals, number 34766. So that's the one I just reviewed. And then this one is 34739, Crown of My Canopy. And again, this is more of a golden with sort of bronzy, coppery. It's got more of a peachy tone to it. More so than the other one, and I'll go ahead and swatch this one. And it has that same flower on it, and we'll go ahead and swatch this one and place it. So you can see it is more of a peachy golden type of highlighter, and it definitely has some bronze in there. It's on the warmer tones, and the ones that I have to compare to this are the e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in Blush Gems, which is sort of in that warm peachy tone with the golden as well. So I'll go ahead and swatch this one to see what they look like beside it. But you'll see that the pigmentation on this one is a little bit more sheen than the actual Wet n Wild one. But it is more golden than the Wet n Wild one as well. The Wet n Wild one is definitely more peach. So then the next one that I had that was close to it would be Superb from MAC. But this is another highlighter that I had that closely resembled that one. And I'd say that's a pretty darn close dupe to it. They're both in that warm peachy highlight tone, and I really would say that they're pretty close. Now this one definitely has a little bit more silver particles in it than the Wet n Wild. The Wet n Wild is most definitely the most peachy of the three. Overall, I'm very impressed with the quality of these highlighters, and if you can get your hands on them, I greatly recommend. These were fantastic. They retailed for $3.99 at my local Walgreens. Look for them, scout for them. I mean, you just can't beat it. That's it for now, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah! Love you.